Okay, this is going to be an overview of an app that I've created. It's called Somm. It's short for sommelier, and the idea is that it's about putting in your own ratings for wine so that you can later review those. You can also review other people's ratings. When we open the app, you have a couple options here for how to get in. We can create a new user, we can log in as an existing user, or we can log in via Google. For now, when we create a new user, all we need is a username and password. I'm thinking farther down the line we'll add email, stuff like that, so that there's a little bit more, it's a little bit more robust, a little harder for somebody to create multiple users and influence the popularity of a wine, something like that, through that. For now, that's what we've got. I'm just going to log in via Google. That's the simplest method for me since I stay logged in anyways. I will point out that my Google login, I've assigned that administrative rights for the app, so you will see options on this demo that you wouldn't see if you were a non-administrative user. So we log into the app. First thing we've got here is our wine list. This shows all the wines in the system. Right now I've got, I think, just around 20-25 wines in the system. Most of these are is dummy data. I just took a bunch of wines off of popular wine websites, and as far as the ratings on most of them, they're randomly generated between 1 and 5, so there's 20 ratings for each wine that was randomly generated, and that's why all those tend to be between maybe 2 and 4. They're all right around 3 because that's just how random numbers work. When you select between 1 and 5, you're going to end up somewhere in the middle. There are some of these near the top that I've put in my own ratings for, just playing around, making sure everything works. You'll see those are higher rated because I put in my favorite wines. They've only got 1 review, so that kept that review number, or the average rating, high. First thing we could do, we got this reds, whites, pinks, and all. This uses scope methods to allow me to only look at red wines, only look at white wines, pink wines, or all the wines. If I click on any wine, I get its variety along with its average rating. I can click on reviews and see all the reviews. So here we go. You can see I'm the only one that's reviewed this wine. The edit wine and delete wine, those functions are only available to administrative users. The idea there is that I wouldn't want some user to be able to edit a wine that other users have already rated, because by doing that you could, in theory, you could have a bunch of users rate a particular wine, say they really liked it, and then some other user come along and change that to a different wine entirely, and now you've got all these false reviews for a wine that isn't the same wine that people reviewed. So edit and delete, those are only administrative functions. Other thing I should have pointed out there, we can click on the variety here, and it'll show me all the wines that are that same variety. It'll also tell me the color of that variety. I do plan on further down the road adding a little bit more information there, maybe a typical description of a wine of that variety. But at any rate, here we go. We've got all our different wines of this Sauvignon Blanc variety. The edit and delete, again, those are just administrative functions. I don't want normal users editing and deleting varieties. They can create new wines and new varieties, they just can't edit or delete existing ones. So now I'll demonstrate we can create a new wine in the system. We've got our nested form here. We give a name to the wine, and then we can either select a variety from a drop-down, or if the variety we want is not already in the system, we can create a new one by typing in the name and the color of that variety. So I need to come up with a wine here, and off the top of my head, the first one that came to mind is one that my wife loves, is the Flatiron White Zinfandel. Okay, and it is important that you type in the variety of wine, even though we're going to assign the variety later, because every name needs to be unique. And if Flatiron makes more than one type of wine, which they do, we would then not be able to enter any of their other wines. I think I've got White Zinfandel, I do, in the system, so I could select that variety, create the wine, and there we go. There's the wine. Currently no reviews. So we'll go ahead and create a review for it. I'm not a fan of that wine, so I'm going to give it a rating of 2. It's not a heavy wine. It's a very fruity wine. So it's probably in the 5 range. And it's somewhat acidic. Create the review. There we go. Our review exists. If you create a review, then you have the ability, that same user has the ability to edit and delete the review. And then additionally, administrators have the ability to edit and delete any reviews. I thought that was an important function to maintain in case somebody puts in an inappropriate review. Okay, so back to my wine list, and then somewhere near the bottom there I should be able to find, there we go, our Sutter Homeway Zinfandel that I just put in. Other thing we could do, we can write a review for a wine, whether it's in the system or not. First off, I've got a drop down where I can select any wine that's in the system. This list is going to get very long, so there is a little bit of a search function with these drop downs. I could start typing in, like for example, I could start typing in wines that match that those letters will start popping up. So let's say pick something that I haven't reviewed. This Ned, I don't know what that is. We'll pretend that I've had it, and we're going to review it. So I do plan on cleaning this up. It's not entirely clear where these sections start and end, so adding a new wine would be a section of its own, where we put in the name and variety, and then this adding new variety would kind of be a subset of that new section. So I got a little CSS work to do to clean that up. This is where the review actually starts, the rating. I haven't tried the wine, so I'm going to go ahead and give it all 3s, because who knows how good it is. I don't know. Okay, the only thing that's required to be put in for any of these reviews is a rating. And then you're additionally able to put in the heaviness, fruitiness, acidity, and comments. I'm not going to put in any comments right now. I'm going to create our review, and now my review exists. So now if I go back to my wine list and I find the Ned, I can look at all the reviews, all these users, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way up to 20. That's the dummy data that I put in just to have something in the system to be able to play with and figure it out. But way down at the bottom there's me. Beat it 712. So that's the review that I gave. I think that's all the functionality I want to show right now. But there you go. That's my app. I hope you enjoy it. Thank you.